If you're here today, you're witnessing history. This is the first case/collection/terminal released in DE News history. A new terminal means new gloves, and new gloves means China has new plays available to them. But with China pumping themed loadouts over the last couple of weeks, we are left with the same overarching question. Did China know beforehand?
And now for our Counter-Strike report. New York's very own Mike Water.
Welcome back to DE News. I'm your host, Mike Water 9. Now we're going to get into China, and we're going to get into everything today because today is DE News double episode. I promised this because I did not make the video on Friday as I had a different idea. And because of that, we have a lot to cover. So today's going to be a pretty long episode. Market cap, gloves, discontinuations, the Armory, pumped skins, dumped skins. As always, we first start off with the market cap this week. We are currently sitting at $5.78 billion, up 2% from where we were last week. People are responding well to the dead hand terminal and the anticipated Armory discontinuations. And that's putting it mildly. And of course, the biggest news this week is the dead hand terminal. 22 new glove finishes, first gloves we've gotten in 5 years. This also comes with 17 gun finishes and is in the terminal, which means you have to purchase them instead of opening a case with key. If you'd like to see me open some terminals, I'll be opening them on stream tonight. I'll hopefully get like a few of them. Hopefully they go down a little bit, maybe $15. I'll buy a few of them, see what we get. Now, despite the terminal being free and giving you 5 offers at a time, they seem to be in line or a little bit rarer than regular gloves in cases. I already did the math. That will be a separate video in the future, probably this week. Which means that even though they carry a relatively high price tag, considering a glove used to cost $2.50 technically, the rarity of them is going to command overpay in the aftermarket. So far, there are 448 gloves in circulation as of yesterday. But what's interesting about the terminal is that they're not uniform. Usually in a case, drops are uniform. So you have an equal chance of getting this glove versus that glove. But in the terminal, they choose to redeem or not, which manifests in terms of supply numbers. The occult gloves have a supply of 37 in total, and the cream pinstripe at 13, which shows the differences in demand, meaning that if you bought those gloves and there's only 13 of them, even if they're not popular, there's going to be less supply to counterbalance that. But with only 400 open, we really can't track the trends and tastes of the market just yet. All 400 people that open gloves could be brain dead, so we don't really know the actual demand for each of these gloves yet. Right? If we didn't go off supply numbers, most people would venture to guess that the pillow gloves are the most popular, but in terms of supply and redemptions, they're not even close, not even top 3. But what I can tell you is, if you do get offered gloves, it's probably in your best interest to redeem them. The rarity of them and the price they're being offered at is pretty much a guaranteed profit for you if you have the money liquid to do so. Also, the fact that the terminal was released on Wednesday, active drops being reset on Tuesday, makes for a relative less amount of terminals this week, which is why the price is still so high, although I do not think they will hit the Genesis terminal levels in terms of price for a very long time. Now that's the lay of the land on the new gloves, but let's talk about what the gloves did to the market themselves. Now with the Generation 4 gloves being added, Generation 3 gloves are officially discontinued from the game. If you've been watching this channel and paying attention, they've been accumulating these gloves at a slow rate because obviously they cannot predict the future perfectly, but the consensus was Recoil case was going to be discontinued, and that was confirmed on Wednesday. Recoil, Snaky B, and Broken Fang are all up on the week because of Recoil's discontinuation, and subsequently the gloves. Most notably, though, are going to be the hand wraps and the moto gloves. While these are relatively unpopular in the first 3 generations of gloves, they are noticeably absent from Generation 4. Now, while the gloves are unpopular, I do think they have very good potential to be pumped, because Valve has shown us over the last 2.5 years of CS being out that they release things on a 6-month schedule. So I think if they don't add any rare special items to the Armory at the end of this month, then I think China has a pretty clear 6 months ahead of them in which they can pump all of these non-added gloves, motos, and hand wraps. And they've already seen quite stark price movement. The top 100 on Steam DT is filled with Generation 3 hand wraps and moto gloves. The Recoil case itself has skins in it that have good opportunities to be pumped. I called the AK Ice Cold last week on DE News, as well as the sawed-off Kiss Love. The AK Ice Cold is a play because it is an AK skin. It's going to have demand, which will just increase price action in the medium to long term. And the sawed-off Kiss Love is the only 0 to 1 within the Recoil pinks. Broken Fang was already expensive, but you can expect an increase in demand or price for the M4 print stream. That one's very popular in its own right. And also the USP print stream, which saw a rise in price because it was part of the Recoil case. So its price as of a week ago was an active pool price, and now it reflects a discontinued price. If you bought some AK slates over the last few weeks, like I've been telling you to, as it is a relatively safe investment, it saw a pretty decent jump as well because Snaky B is part of the Generation 3 glove cases. Now it also opens the door for just purchasing whenever you have some free cash, Dreams and Nightmares and Kilowatt and Revolution. This is because we can pretty much expect terminals to be replacing cases in the active pools, at least guaranteed. And I think that news has been priced in relatively, but starting to accumulate. Just if you do $2 a week, that's 4 Revolution cases a week. By the time it gets discontinued, you'll have a decent amount ready to go. Now, Generation 1 gloves, of course, took a hit. With more gloves comes, obviously, the fact that some people aren't going to demand Generation 1 gloves anymore. In fact, they'll probably opt more for Generation 4. So not only did that hurt price action, but Win King, the Chinese pump god, is reportedly under fire for tax evasion in China. So not a great thing there. That obviously resulted in the subsequent downtrend of some of the Generation 1 glove skins, as well as the skins within the glove case. For the most part, they still hold a relative stranglehold on the Generation 1 gloves and the cases that house them. And in the short term, because demand went down, prices go down a little bit, they subsequently can gain more control over these Generation 1 gloves, which will only make them more rare and more expensive for the average buyer. Because the broader market shifted their attention towards the Generation 4 gloves and the skins within the terminal, less eyes on pretty much everything else, but of course, less eyes on Generation 1. And they seem to have noticed that and capitalized on it. Some of the blues and purples within the glove case, i.e. the M4 Flashback and the dual Beretta's Royal Consorts, are up handedly on the week. Both of them lying in the top 50 movers of the week and top 10 of the day. And if you'll notice, both of those skins are green, but the color has changed this week seemingly. But before that, a word from our new sponsor today, skins.com. Skins.com is the first marketplace for Westerners on Chinese CS2 skins. Purchase from an extensive list of items or insta-sell your skins and withdraw it from a variety of methods, including bank transfer or crypto. For an insta-sell website, these are truly some of the best rates I've ever seen, and they are soon launching a peer-to-peer trading system to compete with some of the biggest players within the market. So why not get started now and get used to the website? Try out skins.com. All right, let's dive back into our color theory, because this is obviously where the money is in terms of pumps right now, and it is not green anymore. As we know, before the Dead Hand Terminal was dropped, China was pumping green skins, right? The All Carved Jade, the Scar 20 Emerald, AK-47 Green Laminate, etc. And they were also pumping certain guns, right? The Tech 9 was disproportionately in the top movers every week, as was the Galil and FAMAS. And some of those trends have shifted slightly. This week has seen the color blue start to move a little bit more. The USP Royal Blue saw a pretty stark price movement, as well as 2 Deagles. The Desert Eagle Night Heist from the Havoc collection and the Desert Eagle Midnight Storm from Rising Sun. The money seems to be following the aesthetics, and themed loadout being pumped right before gloves coming out is very telling and could raise some eyebrows. And as we discussed earlier, the occult gloves being the most redeemed, most popular, and the collection that just so happens to be pumped right before the occult gloves come out, the Havoc collection with the AK X-Ray, and they match pretty damn well. Well, let's walk through this carefully, because while some of their previous plays have, smelt of insider trading, this one really doesn't, and more so speaks to coincidence. Right, the green pump happening before the gloves coming out would have been more questionable had the 2 green gloves in the case not been some of the least popular. They also didn't touch the Recoil case. A pretty easy play there would have been the AK Ice Cold, compounded with being discontinued, would have made for a pretty good pump opportunity in the short term. If anything, red or white skins probably would have been their best move to make, considering those are some of the most popular gloves. But we didn't get that. Nor did we get a Recoil case pump or Snakebite. So this one seems of coincidence. I'd love to give a conspiracy about insider trading, but I don't think this is the case here. But I do think the now established trend of buying 4 loadouts with gloves in mind are going to be a popular play for the next couple of months. Mind you, now there's a lot of new, unique gloves in this new terminal, and a lot of skins will benefit. The play is pretty simple here. Buy shit that matches gloves. Not only are Deagles being pumped like crazy right now, but some like the Midnight Storm match some of the, Asian-inspired gloves pretty well. Also, that Tech 9 Whiteout got a little bit more interesting, huh? But some are weird, because some of these skins that have gone up in price because they match gloves, well, they're from active weekly drops, like the Radiant or Harlequin Coex. like the Radiant or Harlequin collection, right? Supply is constantly increasing, thus prices should go down over time. So if you do have one of these and your price has gone up a considerable amount, consider selling. You'll be able to get it back for a cheaper price in about a week or two from now. But this play has a lot of legs because, as I said, there's only 400 gloves unboxed so far. Once more gloves enter the circulation, there will be more demand for skins that match these gloves. The M4 Party Animal matches the Ultraviolent gloves. The Black Book gloves match the Op the End from the Achroma collection. Those green hand sweaters match pretty much the entire Boreal collection. These all look great with their gloves. They've all seen pretty positive price movement, but they are weekly drops. Therefore, do not purchase into them. Only sell if you have them. Your targets are going to be skins that match gloves but are not in active weekly pools or active cases. Those we'll find throughout the week. As I said, I will make a video on that. Now, once again, you are overlooking the Armory most likely. Now, just as demand went down for Generation 1 gloves because of the new gloves, the demand for the Armory has also gone down because of the new terminal. Now, while we're starting to see some of the recovery this morning, some of the Armory skins have dipped since the terminal coming out. Not too much, like maybe 5 to 7%. And the reason is simple. It is demand substitution. In the wake of shiny new skins coming out, people sell what they have in their inventory already, and most of those skins, for a lot of newer players, are going to be skins within the Armory, which just opens you up to buying Armory stuff on sale if you consider your position underexposed. September 10th, Armory discontinuations were announced. September 17th, terminals came out. October 1st, the new Armory rotation came in. This time around, the terminal was released on March 11th. So we should expect this Armory change to be happening this week. The deadline is over. Valve theoretically has what they have going to be released. And we know what happens with short-term attention. It regresses to the mean every time. It always does. The hype around the terminal will return to normal. And when that attention comes back, they'll be buying their Armory shit back at a higher price because you and I bought them. So if you've been feeling underexposed to the Armory and you wanted to get more, consider buying now. This might be your last window for some of the collections within the Armory. And to be honest, they did blue ball us pretty hard on the rotations. I mean, we should have gotten it that day. I can't see us not getting the news this week, Tuesday, Friday at the very latest. And this is an example of one of the easiest plays, right? The Generation 1 gloves as well. Because we're not speculating on the price recovering. We basically pretty much guarantee it going back to where it was. You're just betting on the market remembering what it already knew. And the market always remembers. As we discussed with the blue trend going on right now, the Esports 2013 Winter case is one of the top movers of the week. And notably, the Winter Offensive continues its rise, sitting at around $17 as of this morning. The Galil Sandstorm continues its generational run up to around $43 on Steam DT right now, which we called at $9 just 2 weeks ago. The M4 Guardian is also starting to go up, I imagine because it is blue. And we have that one. So we're good. The top cases that were open this week were the Fever, Revolution, and Dreams and Nightmares. Fracture almost outperformed some of the active drops this week, which is quite notable. And as far as collections go, they're still the main center of attention, and I think that just got confirmed even more so by Valve. In the lawsuit, Valve likened their collection skins, or skins in general, to collectibles, such as like Pokemon cards or Dreams and Nightmares cards, whatever it's called, Dungeons and Dragons, which means they have a responsibility to not flood supplies, which I think is a part of a reason why the terminals were added, right? Because people don't automatically purchase every offer they get. And it also means they won't fuck with collection prices, which I think is bullish. Gives people a lot of confidence back in that market, considering what they did with the knife trade-ups. A lot of people were hesitant to move into these super high expensive items. Now, jumping into last week's watch list, this is a fucking banger watch list, boys. Tech9 Ossified up 20%. The CZ Emerald didn't move too much, but it is up around 10%. It's also in the Chop Shop collection, so it will just gain from that alone. The MP7 Force DD-Pat, I mean, just looking at the chart for 10 seconds tells me that you guys just bought up a bunch of them. And if the chart looks like this and you bought up here, you deserve to lose money. I don't care about you, and I don't care about what you have to say. Tech9 Blast from the Past is up 25%. And the Recoil case and the guns within it, the AK Ice Cold and the Sawed-Off Kiss Love, are both up 25% and 33% respectively. The Recoil case up more so than that, I believe around 70%. So across the board, just fucking green bangers. The older plays, right, like the Fever Dream and the Op Phobos, right, I still have those. It's going to take a little bit longer for them to recover because they're in cases and a lot of hype has just substituted for the terminal in the short term. So we may have a longer outlook on those, but I'm not worried about it. As I said, these pumps take a long time. These take weeks, months, because you have to wait 7 days in order to make significant moves. Same goes for hollow stickers, right? The demand has gone away for hollow stickers in the very, very short term, but I expect them to come back because that was an active play as of, 3 days ago. This is completely standard price action, temporary demand, substitution. We are just, not going to worry about it and not let it get to us. The prices will come back and the money will come back. It just will take a little bit of time. Now, here's what I'm watching this week. Number one is going to be skins that match these new gloves, right? There's only 400 gloves opened, right? Once more gloves hit the supply, people will be buying shit that matches their gloves because CS players don't know how to dress, famously. Right, just make sure they're not from active cases or active drop pool collections such as Radiant or whatever the fuck other ones. Right, just obviously making sure they're not actively dropped, and I think you'll be fine in terms of long-term price action just based on fundamentals alone. And, with the added bonus now of it matching a loadout. Number two is still going to be Recoil, not the cases themselves. I believe they're just about going to hit their relative ceiling for the next, few months or so. But a lot of the skins within it have not moved all too much. The AK Ice Cold really only went from $18 to $25, and that's not crazy considering now it could theoretically be a candidate for a pump, although the supply might hinder that for at least the next few months. Number three will be the Desert Eagle Sputnik. I was talking about the Tech 9 safety net last week, and it is still one of the highest movers as of this morning. The Deagle Sputnik is a blue Deagle, which seems to be very popular these days, and it shares a collection with the Tech 9 safety net, Train 2021. And if you've heard my video about it, then you know it is an extremely easy collection to pump, due to it having a different redemption system than any other collection ever in Operation Riptide. Number six, Armory. Keep fucking hammering it. If you don't have enough, it is still there, and it's not going to be there forever. And lastly, and I do have one more, but that one deserves its own video, so stay tuned for that. Because I do think it has legs, and it's a little bit more speculative in nature. And that is the full board, DE News and DE News China. This week will be more of the same, me screaming into the void about the terminal, me talking about the terminal. As always, peace.